Hello there. Hi. Assalamu alaikum. We're back for our Facebook Live session. It's Tuesday. It's 11 a.m. So I just want to let you know that we were planning to do the session at 10. And then this morning I thought, why don't we do it at 11 instead? Because I like my slow mornings. So every morning what I do is I do a bit of exercise. I like to journal, like to spend time with my cats, give my cat her breakfast. I just got a new cat actually last week. And then I thought, okay, if I do it at 10, I'm always rushing to do this Facebook Live because I have to prepare the slides and I have to rehearse. So I thought I'm going to do it at 11. So moving forward from today, our Facebook Live sessions are going to be at 11 a.m. every Tuesday, inshallah. So if you are watching me, say hello to me so I can see you. I love getting the energy from you guys in the comments. Siti No Akma, wa alaikum salam. Hello, Aisha. Good morning, Fazliana. Thank you for saying hello to me. Kelas tuition Kak Long, wa alaikum salam. Okay, so great to see you. So today I am going to be talking about how to become a better writer. Okay, let me put the slides up for you so you can see it. I'm going to share with you how to become a better writer because lately we have been getting a lot of emails from our followers, our subscribers, and just corporate companies have been asking us, do you have a training on business writing? So last week, Madam Azima, Aisha, and Aida from customer support, as well as myself, we had our quarter three meeting. So we discussed this about how many people have been asking us about creating a training for business writing. And we thought, why not we create a training for writing, particularly just writing, like with lessons and modules, or maybe it's just like a workshop. So our plan for this quarter, which is July, August, September, is to create a course about writing. So as I was doing research about writing, I thought, okay, today I have a Facebook Live session, so why not we talk about how to become a better writer in today's session? So I'm going to share with you 7 tips on how to become a better writer. Let me see. I can see a lot of you saying hello to me. Hello, Emalina, Marina, Azrina, Najiha, Siti Zulaika. Hello. Assalamualaikum. Waalaikumsalam. Muhammad Aizat. Siti Haja Muhammad. Bib Lob, Nia, Zaitun. Okay, thanks for saying hello to me. Right, let me start now with tip number 1 on how to become a better writer. Number 1, read a lot. Yes, I know this is such a boring tip, and we've mentioned this tip so many times about reading a lot, but there's no way around it. There's no shortcut. You have to read a lot. Reading helps you to learn new words. It helps you to learn sentence structure. It also helps you to improve your grammar. And the more that you read, the better writer you can become. And when it comes to writing, it depends on what you actually write. Do you write a lot of reports? Do you write a lot of email? Do you write a lot of academic stuff? So if you want to become a better writer, in writing blog posts or writing social media content, then you can follow social media profiles that share a lot of good posts in English, right? So that's considered reading as well, because you are reading and learning at the same time. If you write a lot of factual stuff, like reports or academic writing, then it's great to read articles, journals, read newspaper articles. If you write a lot of creative writing, you write stories, you like to write essays, you can read a lot of fiction. So it depends on the medium of your writing, and read based on that. Can you hear my son? He's screaming downstairs. I told him already not to be so noisy. So I have 3 boys. I told them already not to be so noisy because I have a Facebook Live and I can hear him screaming. I hope you can't hear him screaming. But what to do? This is live, right? Okay, so number 1, my tip is read a lot. Read based on what you usually write. So if you write a lot of creative writing, read a lot of fiction. If you write a lot on social media, blog posts and stuff like that, then read a lot of blog posts or magazine articles. If you write a lot of factual things, then you could read newspapers, articles, journals. Okay, that's tip number 1, read a lot. Number 2, get into the habit of writing consistently. You have to be writing consistently. So reading helps you to learn. So you are consuming knowledge. But when it comes to writing, you have to be implementing as well. So you have to be writing a lot. The more that you write, the better you can, the better writer you will be. You will be honing your skills. You will be learning your own style of writing. The only way that you will know your style of writing is by writing a lot. And what does consistent mean to you? Maybe you don't, right now, you're not writing at all. So how can you start making writing a habit? So maybe you can say, okay, from now on, this is for people who really want to improve their writing. If you don't want to improve your writing, then it's okay. But you tell yourself, from now on, I am going to write once a month. So I am going to write on the first of every month. I'm going to write my goals, or I'm going to write my action plan for that month. So at least you have something in your calendar, you have the date for it, for you to actually sit down and to write. Okay, so maybe you are already doing that. Maybe you are writing once a month already. You could do it once a week. Or if you're already writing once a week, you could do it every day. So for my habit or my routine is I write every day. I write the social media posts every day because it's part of my job, right? So I've made it part of my job. I write every day as well in my own journal. I write every week. Once a week, I write emails or I write blog posts. I send the email version of the blog post to our students. And I write also every month. I create my goals every month. So that is my routine, which may seem like a lot for most of you. So I am consistent with my own routine. So find the routine, find the habit that works best with your lifestyle. And the reason that I write every day is because it's part of my job. My English Matters, I am the content creator of My English Matters. So it becomes part of my job. Okay. And also, I just want to share with you, a few years back when we first started My English Matters in 2016, I would send emails to our subscribers like randomly, like once a week. Sometimes it was once every 2 weeks or once a month. Sometimes we would go 1 month without writing anything to our email subscribers. By the way, if you are not an email subscriber yet, make sure you go to myenglishmatters.com, become a subscriber, because we send an email every single week. But anyway, we were not consistent with how we wrote and how often we wrote to our followers, our email subscribers. And then one day I told myself, okay, I am going to start writing an email every single week. And at the beginning, I thought, this is too much for me. I can't write once a week. It's too much because I wasn't used to it. But once I made that promise to myself, I also told our subscribers, we're going to be writing it every single week. It forced me to sit down in front of the computer every Thursday and to write something. And there are still days where I don't have any idea what to write, but it's because I've created that promise to our students, promise to our subscribers that I'll write something. It forces me to be creative. It forces me to get something out. So get into the habit of writing consistently. If you can, make it part of your job. If it's not part of your job, just make it part of your personal growth plan or something like that. Okay, I hope that's helpful. So that's tip number 2. Number 3, use a framework. So when you are writing, it surprises me how so many people, when they write, they don't have a framework. And when I was doing the slides for this, when I was doing the research for this Facebook Live session, I know that I always use a framework when I write, and I take that for granted. But sometimes we read people's posts or people's emails, and they don't use a framework, and they just write anything. They don't have an introduction, they don't have a conclusion, they don't have a structured body content. So if you are not using a framework, start using a framework now. It could be for your email, it could be for your blog posts. Just use a framework. So the simplest framework that you can use is just having an introduction, having your content. So your content could be 2 points, 3 points, just 1 point, and then end it with a conclusion. That's the simplest framework that I know, which you could use straight away when you write. so that you don't go into your writing with a blank piece of paper. So when you look at a blank screen, you don't know, you can get writer's block. So having that framework really helps. I use a framework. It's that it just comes naturally to me. I don't really structure it. I don't need to really like create a framework in a piece of paper, because I do that. I type it out. But I've been using a framework naturally. It just comes naturally to me. And if you were a student and you have to do exams, having a framework really helps. So when I was a student back in the old days, when we had to write essays, I would have my blank piece of paper. I would create mind maps. So it's a blank piece of paper, and what was the topic, what's the question. I would write it in the middle of the piece of paper, put a circle around it, and I would draw one branch is for the introduction, another branch for the body or the content, and I would put like 3 points there. So I would have 3 points. And then the last branch is the conclusion, so that it all has this framework. It looks structured that way. I think it's important to have that, to have some sort of process for you to mind map or to brainstorm on how to write, especially if you're writing with a pen and paper, because you can't edit or delete it. So it's great if you are a student. That's an extra tip for you guys. And when it comes to the content, you mean the content, the body of your writing, your 3 points, the point itself can have a framework as well. So the point can be, we can use the prep framework that we always talk about in our Facebook live sessions, your point, your reason, your example or elaboration, and then back to your point. So you would have one overall framework, introduction, body, and then conclusion. And then you would have frameworks within your body as well, which would be the point, reason, elaboration, and point again. So that's a framework. I hope that helps. Okay, next question. If you have a question, sorry, not next question, next tip. If you have a question, you can post them in the comments, and Madam Azima and Aisha will help to answer them. I will go through your questions after I go through the points. But if they are related to what I'm sharing right now, then I'll try to answer them as well. Okay. Number 4, as you write, think of your reader. So this is another thing that I notice many people, they make this mistake of when they're writing, they're just expressing themselves. And that's good it's good to express yourself if you are like writing in a diary or in your own journal. But when you're writing for somebody to read it, you have an audience, it's the best thing you can do is to think of them. So you are expressing it yourself, but in a way that they can understand, or in a way that they can take action. So what is the intention of your writing? Is it just to pass on knowledge? Is it you want them to do something, or do you want them to understand something? Right? So think of your reader. Another thing is that when you're thinking of your reader, you're thinking about the audience, right? So maybe you are an expert in this field and you are talking to your peers and you use big words or you use jargon that your reader would understand it, which is fine. But if you are writing to somebody who is not within your expertise, maybe you're talking to a layman, right? Or a normal person who doesn't know anything about your profession, then you've got to change the language. Don't use jargon, don't use such big words. Use language that is more simple so that most people can understand it. Okay, so that's important about thinking of your reader. And another thing is, another tip that I do, because I write a lot of emails to our subscribers. So we have like 30,000 people on our email list. And if you are a copywriter, this tip will help you. I hope it does. If you are a copywriter and you have to write an email to thousands of people, when you are writing, try to imagine that you're just writing to one person. So my personal tip is when I write hi, I write a person's name there. So, all right, hi, Nadia. Nadia is one of our students. Nadia, if you're watching, hello. Nadia is one of our students. And I pretend that I'm writing to her, right? So when I pretend that I'm writing to her, my email sounds more relatable. It sounds more personable and friendly and cordial. And that's the intention that I want of that email. So that helps to pretend that you're writing to someone. That's if you're writing to a lot of people. It's easier if you know who you're writing to, right? So if you're writing email, you would probably know who you're writing to. So imagine that you are actually talking to that person. So that helps. So that you're not so into your head, you can pretend that you are talking to them. Number 5, edit your work. Edit your work objectively. So what I mean by objectively is, if you have time, right? If an email or whatever document that you're writing doesn't need to be submitted urgently, write your first draft and then step back, maybe 10 minutes, half an hour, come back and edit it. And edit it objectively. Try not to have such a personal attachment to it. Edit your work objectively. Read it as if you were the reader. So maybe you need to take a lot of words out. Maybe you need to remove some redundant sentences, a lot of filler words that need to be removed, so that you remove all the fat. They say remove the fat, keep it thin, so that your work gets to the point faster, right? We don't want people to be confused with your point. So it's important for you to edit your work. At My English Matters, when I write an email, I send it over to Aisha or Madam Azima. I tell them to edit it. They send it back to me after they've edited it. And then I will edit it again myself. So it's like it goes through 2 times of editing. So at least edit it once. If you don't have anybody else that can edit or proofread for you, proofread it yourself, edit it yourself. And then now I'm also editing our old blog posts at myenglishmatters.com. And then I still make changes there. So it's like you never stop editing your work. There's always something that you can be improved, because you get better and better the more that you write. Okay. About words like redundant words, many of our students, they like to reuse the word currently. It's not wrong. Like, for example, currently I'm working at XXX company. It's not wrong to use currently, but sometimes you can just remove the word currently. You can say, I'm working at blah, blah, blah. Right. So yeah, that's just an example of what second language learners like to use the word currently a lot. Number 6, read your work out loud. This is a great tip. This is not something that I do, but it can be helpful for you to read your work out loud. So when you've edited your work, you can read it. And then if you find yourself reading a sentence and it sounds too long, you can just cut it short. Right? I've read somewhere that if you can't read your sentences in one breath, it's probably too long. I can't remember who said that. That's not my tip, but I read that somewhere. I don't do that, but this can be helpful for you. Read your work out loud. So for example, if you use a lot of and, you can just cut it short, put a full stop, and then continue your sentence. Or if you use a lot of but, you can also cut the sentence there, put a full stop, and use something like however. Right, so you just cut it short so that it's tighter, it sounds better. And then my last tip is number 7, join a class to improve your writing skills. Right, so if you think that, there's no other way for me, I don't have the time to learn by myself, join a class. You could take a night class. You could join an online course where you can study in your own time. I went through a copywriting course as well a few years ago. I'm also reading a lot about writing as well. And I'm going to take another course, online course about business writing as well. So I'm always learning as well. Even as I share my own tips, I'm learning to improve my writing skills as well. And figure out what it is that you want to improve on. Is it your grammar? Do you want to improve your style of writing? You want to improve how you sound when you write? So think, if you want to improve your grammar, then maybe you can join a grammar class, right? Or maybe you want to improve your sentence structure, then you can join a writing class. So it depends on what you want to learn. Okay, so those are my 7 tips on how to become a better writer. Let's conclude. I will summarize the points here. Number 1, read a lot. Number 2, get into the habit of writing consistently. Number 3, use a framework. Number 4, as you write, think of your reader. Number 5, sorry, that was number 4. Yeah. Number 5, edit your work objectively. Number 6, read your work out loud. And number 7, join a class to improve your writing skills. Okay, so those are my 7 tips. I hope it was helpful for you. Let's see if I have any questions. Zamani says, if the reader has short breath, then write accordingly. Yeah. Okay, I don't think I have any more questions here. Suzanne says, can you share this video later? Inshallah, this video will be in our Facebook page. It'll also be in our blog later this week. Annalena says, Madam, can you suggest any possible way on how to check on the grammar while we are writing? There is this app called Grammarly.com. I've heard some of our students use Grammarly.com. It helps them to edit their grammar when they write. Okay. Let me see. Farah Liza says, Madam, I am teaching my online writing and reading skills classes to Form 1 until Form 5. And I still want to improve my speaking and writing skills too by joining you. How cool is that? Yeah, that's so cool. Thanks for sharing, Farah Liza. I hope you've joined it in your WOW classes. So we do teach aspects of writing in Members Monthly. So Members Monthly is our online membership program. So we teach grammar and how to apply it in writing and speaking, but we don't yet have just a course specific for business writing. So that's what we're planning to do, inshallah. Pray for us that we will get that course out. Okay, thank you, Rosalina, for joining me. So let me just show you my last slide. So if you are not yet on our email list, go to myenglishmatters.com, sign up with your name and email address, and we'll send you 7 tips to help you speak with confidence. And then after that, we send you an email every Thursday with tips and lessons or blog posts, and as well as updates about our online courses and registration for our membership program. So that's all from me for today. Thank you for joining me. It was fun. I hope this has been helpful. If it was helpful for you, please do share this post. And I'd like to say thank you so much. And Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.